Good morning and welcome to the Student StarCraft AI Tournament Replay section once more. We have a couple of updates, and by updates I don't mean we as in the tournament, but the bots on the tournament server. And that is very interesting because we've got as the yellow Zerg, Björn person Mattsson, and as the green Terran we've got Søren Klett. And Søren Klett has been playing Protoss for the last couple of months, but at last, as he has found no time to invest in his Protoss bot, has reverted back to Terran and made a couple of minor edits there, I believe. So now we've got back one of the better Terrans as Terran. That's a good thing. Then we've got Søren's opponent, which is Björn, and Björn has been coding Zerg and Protoss. His Protoss bot is called Odin 2014, which is very, well, it's okay. It macros, it's micros, and it's a very solid bot. And he said he had updated his Zerg bot to play a multi-base strategy. So now we are going to see if that is true or not. We've got some overlords scouting out, and there is the map, we can see that as well. Meanwhile, Terran is going for a couple of marines, and they catch their first overlord, which is not being microed. Okay, that is the first blood for Søren Klett. Now, what do we see here? We see one base, a couple of marines, looks to be about a mech build, and we've got a fleet of Zerglings propping up. That is interesting, and oh, look at that, there's multiple hatchery indeed, but only one base. Now, that may be all fine and dandy. Overlord, Zerglings. Oh, and here come... Okay, let me slow it down just a little bit to normal speed, because we should be able to see how the micro is managed by both players. We've got a couple of vultures fending off the Zerg waves, and these Zerglings seem to be stuck here on that little hook, and with a bunker with 4 marines in it. This is an atrocious waste of Zerglings, because the bunker is being repaired. Oh, is it being repaired? It's being repaired. Is it enough? It is not enough, and the bunker is broken, and now these vultures, well, these vultures seem to be able to pick off these Zerglings quite handy. Now, the natural for Terran is done. These vultures are looking for more things to kill, and we've got more hatcheries coming. That is all fine and dandy, but what we'd really like to see is more bases, because then you can crank up the economy and perhaps do some upgrades if you've got a bit of gas. Not to say that this is not interesting, but in the long run, versus a mech Terran, I cannot see this going any way but downhill for the Zerg. That said, it is accumulating quite a bit of Zerglings, but these mines are so effective. And even without mining, these vultures, they can, if they dance well, they can do so much damage against Zerglings. That is insane. Now, has Zerg reached an equilibrium between the number of hatcheries it has? No, it's still building drones. What is that? The saturation is insane. That said, this might... that was a bit of a waste. But now tanks and vultures against Zerglings not being able to pass this little ridge. It's not really going all that well. And there's just a bit of a meat grinder. Too bad. Meanwhile, Terran is still building SUVs from 2 command centers, going for a science facility, and just pumping out... Oh, a Wraith, how interesting. That Overlord should be where? Now, what have we? No, 570, 600-ish minerals. And these Zerglings, yeah, well, what can you do? These tanks are racking up the kills. These vultures, they die eventually to mine blasts or to Zerglings, but these Zerglings will not be able to do anything much, and it looks like one of these Wraiths, no, the Overlord which hung here probably died to something else. That said, Søren Klett is building a massive amount of SCVs. The saturation here is quite high, and the same goes for the saturation here, but nothing. Oh look, another hatchery. Nothing compared to this. This is just a hell of a lot of drones for one base, and that base is mining out pretty fast. It's 300 minerals left, and that's about the same here. So from that we can deduce that both these bases are fully oversaturated. Now Terran is coming with +1 weapon upgrades, which will be very nice to have. Now with raids and a science vessel against what is basically a cohort of unupgraded Zerglings, and let me take one guess which way that is going. Oh, a couple of tanks moving out, but I can't. These vultures are too powerful, and even if no tank doesn't die, tank with 20 kills. Oh, and another hatch. Oh, please spare me. The base is being mined out. And with all the open source code out there, I can't really see any way why it would be so hard to expand a little. As we can see, we have had a new Zerg, it's called GarmBot, which is doing just that. It's just slobbering all over the place and placing expansions everywhere, and from there A-moving, because this Zergling gathering is nice, it's doing quite a bit of damage, but versus a mech army, it's just not going anywhere, and these overlords are having a hard time because they are being killed off. And how much more of a hard time can you have? Now, these are the last patches, and by the time this Terran army will have reached the chokehold, they will... Oh, this will be one of the most epic drone explosions we will ever see, because even now, Zerg is still building drones. That is insane. Now Terran seems to be stuck on the same little ridge here. We've got a bit of a mech plasma going, and more overlords being killed. Is ooh, I missed it, but here comes the long distance mining, and I think that they can even saturate this base with long distance mining, were it not that Terran has finally arrived and seems bent on killing the whole operation. Well, that's too bad. StarCraft meanwhile taking more bases, which it can saturate easily because it has quite a significant number of SCVs. And yep, more units coming. Zerg now on 2 supply, 1 supply, and that 1 supply is a pair of Zerglings. And there they go into the Valley of Death, and that was it. Okay, well, we'll stipulate that although Björn P. Mattsson has improved a bit by building more hatcheries, the general idea should have been to build those more hatcheries about here and all over the place, and not give Terran the opportunity to take all the bases. And anyway, a mech build beats a Zergling only build, especially if a Zergling only build is operated from only one base. Okay, so GG. That is the first matchup that StarCraft can win, or wins today. I'm curious to see what else it has done. I have selected a couple of replays, and that was the first one. No, let's not watch that one. What have we got more? Yes, we've got another matchup of StarCraft in the brown, and as the yellow Terran, the 2014 StarCraft AI tournament winner, Martin Royackers with his bot called LetaBot. And LetaBot has been updated as well. I don't know if it's the final update for the SSCAIT tournament, which is, as we speak, being played in Seoul, Korea, but it has been updated, and I can't imagine Martin degrading it and leaving functionality out of it, but we'll see. Sometimes before a big tournament is about to begin, the players don't display all their new strategies on the Student StarCraft AI tournament server because other players can see them there as well. And if you do some major upgrades which can win a tournament, well, that was very interesting. It could be wise to keep them in check, especially as the SSCAIT tournament has now got a prize pool of $500. That's very okay. Oh, what is that? That is a... what color is that? That yellow bunker. And now we've got 2 Marines and a lot of SCVs for LetaBot, and that factory is coming at a very, very late time. Okay, so now we've got a bit of an SCV train going. We've got 7 here. and with the Marines and a little bit of micro, that should be easy game for LetaBot. And so it is no more money to build any kind of vulture there, and all the SCVs die to the influx of Marines. More Marines coming. Basically a two-gating terror. That is very interesting. Well, that's GG. LetaBot with the it was always a bit of a cheesy bot with a lot of marine pressure, but now also with an SCV train. Congratulations, and I hope that you do very well at the SSCAIT tournament. Okay, GG. I'm not going to wait for every base to be destroyed because it's just a glorious waste of time. Okay, so there we can't see Clad again. F is updated. What have we more? Let's have another look at LetaBot by Martin Royakers as the Brown Terran, and as the Red Terran we've got Ayers, coded by Florian Richoux. And Ayers is a very good fixed build order Protoss bot, but it does a lot of build orders and it does them very, very well. So I would be surprised to see if Terran is going for the same kind of early pressure, because as we all know, Zealots are a bit better at fending off Marines, and SCVs then are only Marines from one barracks and a couple. Oh, that's interesting. Nice scouting position. And do we get any units? No. LetaBot getting off the scout, and it's going for the main nexus. Well, that can be a very solid. Oh no, now it's going for a probe. And the probe is fighting back till the death, and that's about half damage to the SCV, which now goes catatonic. Now we see LetaBot doing something else. It's building a factory and an academy. And will this be another push, or has it finally learned to macro? And I can't help but wondering if this wall is any good, or will it break down a supply depot like ICEBot can. Meanwhile, we've got a bit of Templar tech going. That is very interesting. LetaBot has got an academy, and it should be able to build a ComSat station. Will it do so, however? I don't know. That is to be seen. Meanwhile, we've got a tank, and the tank looks like it wants to get out, but it can't, and that is a bloody shame, because that was how LetaBot lost one of his games in the final of the 2014 championship, by walling itself in. So that is not good at all. Okay, 2 Dark Templar going off on a mission, and more pylons coming. That could have built some more gateways. More gateways. And a lot of gateways. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 gates of one base. That is very interesting. Oh, some Marines seem to have made it out. So apparently the barracks lifted from here and repositioned to there, but with only infantry making it out. Oh, we've got a ComSat now. That's interesting. But we've got 3 Dark Templar, and we've got 1 scan coming up, and by the time the scan hits, oh no, they're going to siege, and oh, there may be just enough. The scan wears off, and these 2 Dark Templar are in a hell of a position to wreck the entire base. Meanwhile, Zealots following up, and another base being taken. I can't see this going anywhere for LetaBot. That is a bloody shame, and even with a single ComSat, you need something of a... You'd really need something of an eBay or something like that. These tanks, no, they are not going to do anything, and that is going to be an A move of a hell of a lot of bases. Look at that. Oh, and High Templar, that is very interesting. Will they be on time, or will they morph into an... They will morph into an Archon. That is very easy, because that way you don't need to write any kind of coding for the Storm micro. That said, LetaBot, okay-ish build with tanks and a bit of infantry, but if you block in your base these 2 rubbish heaps were supply depots. Tanks couldn't get out, and with the lack of scanning, only 1 ComSat is not enough for a dedicated Dark Templar. Okay, so GG. Ayers by Florian Rishu takes the game versus Martin Royak as LetaBot. Okay, well that's good to see. And what have we more? Because a lot of things happened. And one of the things happened is that ICEBot had an achievement won because, well, we like to challenge our coders with achievements. So you can get for first match won, you get something and you get a bit of a stripe like a sergeant, and it builds up till Grand Admiral or something like that. And I saw an achievement which I hadn't seen before. And that was for Eyes Labs, and that is a Terran bot from the Ritsumeikan University of Japan. And that was, I had to look it up, and it was 5,000 games won. And that is not a mean thing by any means. 5,000 games won since it has been uploaded to the server, with a win rate of about, well, say 80 to 90%. That is quite impressive. So this is the game, it's 5,000th game that it won, and let's see how it goes about that to do that. And Maracadic, well, it's not a bad Terran, but it's okay. And this is one of the things that many bots cannot do if a building SCP is killed. Send a new one to recommence the construction. If you don't do that, sometimes your entire build order can get hung up, and if we see it like this, the minerals are accruing a little bit. What is happening at the other side of the map? The barracks is finished, and this SCV is being APM spammed. If you look at how it's evading it's got some very nice micro, but now it's microed itself into a corner, and these couple of Marines are now free to roam the map. That said, ICEBot has found a choke, and its coding obviously is not so advanced that it can handle 2 chokes, but it's found one, and it's sort of walled it off, and now is building. That will be a very close timing, because we've got 4 Marines coming, only 2. Oh, what are they doing? They are moving back. We've only got, and now ICEBot is moving to make more, and that is a damn shame, because these 4 Marines could have done a lot of damage before the first Vulture or anything got out. It's even a tank, so they could have easily won the match for Maracadic. That said, ICEBot is waiting. Now we've got a tank on the high ground, and that is something very impressive as well. ICEBot is still the only bot which effectively utilizes the high ground advantage. As you may know, in StarCraft Loot War, you've got an advantage if you're on high ground. If you're shooting upwards from low ground to high ground, you've got a 70% chance to hit. Basically, it's a bit more complicated than that, but basically you've got that. And now we've got a group of 4 Marines and 3 tanks moving out, trying to contain the enemy. Maracadic is a bit further along in its safety measures than was LetaBot, because we've got more turrets, we've got a comsat, we've saved energy, and now these Marines are being engaged by Marines of Cadec itself, and this might be very close. I can't really see it because how many tanks are there? I think there are 3 tanks. They are doing a lot of damage, but with the rally streaking in, that is a very good number of tanks, and they're being supplied by the factories in the rear. That is a very good push, and now they are containing the enemy. And again, it has detected a choke. That is not an easy thing to do, so it sort of knows that the enemy is bound to pass over these 2 bridges. It has analyzed the map and found this weakness in the enemy lines. Now, Maracadic is retreating a little bit. The turret is going back one little bit, and with the scouting barracks, these tanks have a little bit of extra range. So that is a very well executed. Oh, and the splash damage kills the siege tank. That is impressive. Combined 19 kills, and eventually these no, this push will not peter out because there is the rest of the army. And ICEBot going for a third. What's happening in the main base? Tanks, upgrades, there come the turrets, and ICEBot is capable of breaking down supply depots. Pity that this one was not in the way, but hey, what do you know, it's a nice tactic, a nice thing to be able to do. Now, last-ditch attempt by Marikadek to stem the tide, but the well-oiled machinery of ICEBot from Ritsumeikan University, Japan is equal to the task and about to break the base, and that is not a good thing because by now it's got a 3-base economy, nice bit of defense with a turret, with a tank, and the same goes for here. It's 2 turrets, the bunker is empty, but a couple of turrets and a tank, so any kind of easy harass is being negated. And if you look at this, this is a mine placed by ICEBot itself, so another player can't expand there without scouting it, and it destroys the mine and will place a command center here shortly. That is, if it's got the money. Meanwhile, science facility is teching up, and that is very interesting. That is very interesting. What is this SUV doing? I don't know. Meanwhile, main army is killing off the base and Marikadek is for the dogs, but if you look at this, enemy bots need a bit of code to be able to deal with that, and they can't just build a command center at the right position, which either means they've got to build it a bit more further back or scout the mine and destroy it, and that will cost a scan and a bit of code to write, so that's not, well, it's not an easy thing to do. It's a very good idea. And by a combination of all these good ideas, ICEBot has been able to rack up 5,000 kills on the student StarCraft AI tournament server. And as you can see, it's now killed the main base and has found the last bit of enemy resistance. And for the 5,000 kill, I will grant him this, that he may destroy his enemy, and GG, and may he win 5,000 more matches. While we're on the topic of records and achievements, as you can see, these numbers indicate the number of matches played on our server, and that is 89,651. We are approaching the 100,000, and well, that is very interesting as well, because 100,000 games played for bots, that is an impressive number. But to go back to the game, well, while we're on the Ice Labs train, ICEBot Ice Labs, the university department is called Ice Labs, and the bot is called ICEBot. We've got Ice Labs or ICEBot as the yellow Terran, and as the brown Zerg we've got by Aurélien Lermont, we've got GarmBot, and GarmBot is a bit of a revelation. It's new Zerg under the sky, and if you remember the first game I cast today of Björn person Mattsson, which did basically a one base Zergling play of one base with a lot of hatcheries, it could be said that GarmBot is the antithesis of that, because it is a greedy motherfucker. It's got expansion coming at the other side of the map, that is very interesting. ICEBot, his 5,000th win, well, it's very good, but it has been updated for the last time, I think 2 or 3 years ago, and it's still got an 80 or 90% win rate. Don't make any mistakes, but it hasn't been updated. And one of the revelations we've had is the use of macro. And as you can see, this is a very nice 2-base build, which will later bloom into a 3-4-5 base operation. But if you look at the vector, the speed at which this is going, this is a very greedy build. I grant you that. It's very fast. We've got only 4 Marines before any more units are built. We've got a 2-base economy going up. But the only thing that happens is a scout. And meanwhile, we've got 1 base in operation. We've got a 3rd coming, and a Hydra Den and a lair coming as well. So that is very interesting. And these well, if you look at it dancing, you'd say, well, this thing is bugged, but it won't touch the area in which the sunken can do its thing, and that is very impressive because that is really good scouting. That is just really good scouting. And with a 3 base coming up, second base now. First blood is for GarmBot, early and Lemon. And where is this drone going? No, good. One of the things that GarmBot does well is expand. The thing it doesn't do very well at the moment is decide where it's going to expand to. And usually it will try to expand to the natural of the enemy player. It now expanded to the third, which is very interesting as well. It's now being scouted by ICEBot, and that is very interesting. What will this SCV do? Will it try to harass? At any event, we've now got almost 4 bases coming up. And if you remember the high ground mechanic, this is a bit of, well, it's not really the same thing, but the same principle. In normal maps, you've got the main base on the high ground and the natural on the low ground, or something like that. But the principle of this map is that the high ground is for the rest of the map, or the third of the natural, and the main base is on the low ground. This map has since been, for a long time, been retired from professional play because of this, because it gave Terrans an unfair advantage. If you've got a couple of siege tanks here, it is a hell of a task to break out from that, whichever race you are playing. And I'm going to slow down a bit because I've got so much to say. But what ICEBot does basically is find a ridge with a high ground, low ground difference and position its tanks at whichever is not the main ground of the natural expansion. And that is very interesting because they can't be hit by melee, and by range, well, you can hit them from here, but from here you've got a bit of a barrier, so that is very good. Now you see some units coming in and getting killed off. That is understandable if you've got a nice and deep line of siege tanks here, and we've got a bit of queens flying overhead, and these are gathering up energy. So what I need to show is, oh, well, I've been too late, that they've got the Brutling upgrade, and what is more, that GarmBot is now building upgrades. We've got Link speed, we've got Hydra speed, and we've got a Spire coming, and by now, if I do this, no, I can't do that. You can see that it's all over the map. It's got one mining base, 2 mining base, 3, 4, 5 mining bases, 6 coming up. ICEBot is scouting all of it, so that is very good. But if you're sitting on 2 base, because the third is being shut down by Brutling, no less. If you're sitting on 2 base, and these tanks just get Brutlinged, and these marines are being attacked from all sides, because if you look at the minimap, if you can see this now, it's brown on black. That's not ideal, but there are all kinds of units about, and these Hydras have speed, the Lings have speed, and although this is a mag army, every now and then one of the units will get Brutlinged, and we need to catch another one in action. Well, let's keep an eye on this queen. One tank gets cut off because it's strayed from the herd. And with the 1, 2, 3, 4, it's now 6 versus 3 base, it is very efficient because all the incoming units of GarmBots, they immobilize, because every time a unit pops up, these tanks siege, and if they're coming to the rescue of this base, but this base is very exposed. Now they could poke out against this base, I don't know where that is. But they're not doing that, they are rescuing the third, which is a good option, and again a new SCV sent over to complete the construction. Up, and there goes another unit. Free of charge, because ICEBot at this time does not have anti-air. And what is happening here? That is a colossal money sink. ICEBot has detected a threat and is now building a lot of bunkers. Might be cautious not to wall it. Oh, that is ugly, because all these SCVs are now damaged for splash damage. And now Terran has, well, it's not walled, it has walled itself in. But we've got a large army out on the map, and GarmBot has got quite good worker micro because these drones are attacking the threatening SCV, and now we've got an army in the middle of the map, and this is one of the reasons why we've got widescreen. Well, it's one of the advantages because this group is being attacked from all angles. We've got, well, that may not seem like much to do, what is it, 18 damage to a Goliath, but if you do that often enough, the Goliath will die. And these tanks now, well, they are clustered tight together, but with all the mutors out and these SCVs coming up to repair, there is a good chance they may never reach it, because it's a long way, and that is one got broodlinged and one got killed off by friendly fire. Nice concave, but you're a bit stuck. All these lings die, but there goes a tank, and another one or two die for friendly fire. What is happening in the Zerg main base? We've got a Greater Spire, we've got a hive coming up, and that is very interesting. Have we got any evolution chambers yet? No. And now the siege is on. Two Sunkens, and they are doing quite a bit of damage. They are all targeting the same unit, and one is dying. Now the tanks move back, and this base has basically survived because one more Hydra colony being rebuilt. The tanks are heading back home, and the way back home is being patrolled by queens, which already have, some of them have enough energy for another broodling. And let's keep an eye on the tank column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Okay, that is very interesting because we've got 5 tanks making it back home, 10, 11 tanks, and a handful of bio. And will they make it? Will they make it? Will they make it? I don't know. Will they make it? The group gets drawn out. We've got Valkyries now, which will deal with these queens nicely. But ICEBot is now mining. Oh golly, we've got a Guardian, and although it's only one Guardian, it's occupying Goliath. And the Goliaths haven't got range yet, and the Terran is walled in, and it's all being nasty because it's mining out. Now with the army, it's going for another push. It is going for another push, so the tanks must be able to get out somehow. I don't know how. But we've now got 2 Guardians, we've got multiple Devourers, and if you've got the air with the queens, that is just not a good position to be in as Terran. And if you look at these, this is like the battle in the Teutoburger Wall, yeah, the forest, how do you call it, the Varus battle, where the Romans lost against the Germans. That is what I've got here. We've got 1 siege tank. It's got 6 kills. It will make 8. It will make 7 at least. Well, make it. Oh, that is one very lucky Hydra, but it's running into the next tank already, and it hasn't got the IQ to position itself here out of range. But with all the Hydras coming up, it's now one constant stream of Zerg units, and this base has not been touched by Terran. Now, as you can see, the building themselves are under attack by GarmBot, and GarmBot, make no mistake, it is very simple, but it's very effective because it has all the bases, and if you've got all the bases, if you macro well, you haven't got that much of a need for intelligence. You can just overpower it. And although this is a meat grinder, although we have got Valkyries, although we have got bunkers with units in them, although we've got 1-1 upgraded Goliaths and quite a bit of them, the tanks have all been killed. If you look at the supplies, ICEBot now being at 100, which is not bad, but with a Zerg at 180 and improving, that is not going anywhere, and these Marines are doing a hell of a job, and the bunker is being repaired, but that is just too much without decent tank support, without decent counter macro. Oh, that is a nice drop, but it's being cleared up by these 2 Sunkens and now by a single Hydra. I fear the day. Look at all these hatcheries, that is insane. If you look, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bases, and it's keeping its money down. That is very, very impressive macro. And by a strategy of mass queens, mass A-move hydras, and not as many zerglings, but mainly hydras, it has conquered the bot, which has recently racked up 5,000 wins on the Student StarCraft AI tournament server. I fear the day where GarmBot will start adding evolution chambers, and furthermore the day where it will learn to micro. But as of now, even with only the macro, it's doing a phenomenal job. It is doing a phenomenal job, and it's just beating the good bots left and right. Oh, that was cute. The SCV got Broodling, but while the Broodling egg was on the way, it entered the refinery, and nothing happened. That is very cute, but GarmBot is now maxed, and these last mutas are arriving. Queens patrolling the map, but there are no more units to Broodling. We've got one unit left somewhere. Oh, that's an SCV being built, and the natural being taken over. It's not worth it mineral-wise, probably. Oh well, it is barely worth it, but it's just taking all the positions, and that is... Oh, let's build another one. That is very, very BM by GarmBot. And this is just one brutal murder of a Zerg. Very simple, just build bases, 1, 2 sunkens each, A-move stuff, but with all the macro. Macro is the ticket to success. A bit like in the professional Brood War development, where you had all the old guard with Boxer, with Reach. They were just beaten time and time again by Nada and Uv, because they didn't macro as well. Okay, that said, what have we more? We've got a new bot in our midst, and that is very interesting. It's called Ayers, and as an opponent I've picked Mattsson because Mattsson is a very good Terran. Well, it's not one of the best, but Mattsson is a very decent Terran. Okay, then back to the new star, called Ayers, and either that is a very uninspired bot name or the name of the coder himself. But this is an adaptation of the University of Alberta bot by Dave Churchill, which has made that open source and hails from, you might have guessed, the University of Alberta in Canada. And it has also been based on the Moose bot by Adam Montgomery. Now, that said, it's got two reliable parents, and the basic question is, what has Ayers done himself to make this a combination of both and added his own unique flavor to it? University of Alberta bot has been known for heavy gateway play, mainly a lot of zealots, and if I look at it, I think that this is an earlier tech thing, so no units, very fast core, and another gateway. I don't know, will this be an early... Oh, that is very fast range before any units have been begun even, that's interesting. Okay, so, oh, that's the first goon coming up on the part of Protoss. Mattsson is going for what seems to be a bit of a bio build with gas, so... Okay, well, no Academy, but... either a mech build with a couple of Marines as initial safety, scout going out. Oh, let me enable the map because we've already scouted things, and now we've got... Oh! It dies. A pity. Now we've got 2-gate goon play coming up with range soon finished, and another gate. And that is a very decent decision. I don't know why these Marines are now attacking, and the goon is being chased off, and all the other goons are rallying back as well. And so what you need to look at with a bot is what is it doing, what is already existing code that it's using, and what is new. code that is existing is mining, building stuff, and Goon Micro, attack stance or defense stance, and it seems now that all these goons are in the same army group. Goon Micro already was available as well. If these goons are microing, it doesn't mean that the microcode has been copied, but it can be an indicator of what the coder is up to. Getting a bot to work is not easy. If you copy things, if you don't know what you're doing, you can disable it so very easily, and these Marines are now fighting back. And they would have been helped by a couple of medics, and these goons are just powering through. That said, we've got... Hey, that's interesting. We've got a StarGate coming. And no attempts at expansion. So with these, well, I think about 15 probes, that's all to be done. And with the bio rallies and the vulture, I think Terran might push a couple of goons out, but they have done a little bit of damage. And that may be partly because Mattsson hasn't got very good micro, but again, it may also be because the goons have decent micro themselves. These are not players, these are AIs, they are bots, they are pieces of programming. Well, you might build a couple of units. I don't know. Apparently, oh, it's supply blocked. Well, it can't build units if it's supply blocked, can it? Very silly of me to say so. And this vulture is not going to get any scouting information because the ramp is blocked. And that is a nice little bit of extra, because I don't think either parent bot has got the ability to block the ramp. With the increasing prevalence of scouting bots and bots which especially adapt their build order to the scouting information they procure, it is a good thing to see that the ramp is being blocked, because something interesting must be about to happen with this StarGate. I don't know what, but... or perhaps it's part of a later plan which is not incorporated, or the build order which is not selected at this moment. I'm going to speed it up a bit because, well, it's not very interesting. This vulture appears to be stuck here, and the other vulture roaming the map. Oh, a battle, a battle, a battle, a battle. And these vultures are microing nicely, but well, you can't. There's only so much you can do in a micro battle of 2 vultures against 9 dragoons. And this is the normal speed, tank, medics blocking out the damage, tank on, what is this, high ground? Might be high ground, might be low ground. But with a handful of tanks and the medics and the vulture, although the goons are fighting nicely, they're not moving back and forth like madmen, they are standing their grounds and doing a nice bit of damage. They are doing well. They are doing very well. Meanwhile, Terran expanding. No, you were a bit early for that. And what is happening is building more. Oh, that's a pity. That is a damn pity, because this is going to be an expansion, please. Where is this probe going? And I hope it's not going to be killed off. Meanwhile, Mattsson has positioned himself. Ah, well, that you can do as well, indeed. He's positioning himself at the choke, has contained his enemy, and is now gearing up for the final push. What an interesting upgrade to get. Perhaps it has scouted the StarGate, but main base being blocked, now some zealots added. Well, this is a bit of a shame, and this nice clipping dragoon is very interesting. Oh, what? I missed it. So the Protoss broke out, it killed off the contained, and now pushed back the Terran and decided, well, I can't push it up there. That is very good. That is very, very good, but will Protoss now expand? And this these kind of battles, if the Terran is not positioned correctly, you can do a lot with zealots and goons, but in the end you are fighting siege tanks, and siege tanks are good at making blue soup. Goodbye dragoons. You need an expansion. You need I like the way the bot micros. I like the decision making. If you recall from the 2014 tournament, University or LetaBot likes to move in, move out, and not really stand its ground, and this bot is doing that quite well. Its combat micro is quite good. But then again, it's only got the range upgrade, and if you are fighting, well, you can fight vultures, but you can't fight. Oh, you can't do that, and now it's moving back, and that is very good decision making. That is, I've got to say that it's quite good. But oh, there's a forge, and that is very, very late because the main is mining out. And if you had expanded here, the forge would have been very nice. Nicely done. The building placement is a bit of a zoo, but hey, what do you know? Now Terran is coming at the door and the units are pulling back, but now they are fighting, and they are not fighting hard enough because they're fighting piecemeal, and piecemeal fighting against siege tanks is not a good idea at any time. Mate is now at 3 base, and if you look at the speed of it, we are now about 24 minutes into the game. 3 base, 24 minutes is okay. It's okay, could have been a bit faster, but now Terran is basically mopping up. And what are we seeing here? Well, a handful of units stuck, units being produced, forge not doing anything. Mete Istnek has left the game. Perhaps it timed out on... Well, you can time out as a bot if you take too long to compute your next frame of instructions or thinking things your bot does. You can time out and the victory will be granted to the person not timing out. That said, Chris Ayers is very, very promising. A little bit of macro would be nice, like I said. The same goes for Björn, person Mattsson. And I had one more map, I think. What did I have? Oh yes, I've got the finale of today, and although it's a pity we've arrived at that, it is GarmBot by Aurélien Lermont versus TSCMU is still the Zerg king, and he has been updating his bot for the SIG tournament, playing now at the Sejong University in Seoul, Korea, but I don't think his latest updates have been in here, and TSCMU has clocked win rates of, well, 90+%, and sometimes his bot isn't starting. That is a flaw with the student StarCraft AI tournament server. But basically, the latest revelation, the latest innovation is that it's got a fair multitude of build orders, and that is not to say that it hasn't got good macro or micro, but it's got a couple of build orders, and the build orders are well incorporated from Liquipedia, which are very good, and now it keeps track of which build orders work best versus which opponent. And to stay a bit closer to the game, you've got a 1 base expansion in a weird place coming up from GarmBot, and with a nice early sunken. Now we've got a lot of links coming up, and we've got a couple of more drones coming up from GarmBot. Now we've got the link strategy, and these are quite a few links. So if you remember from the Jaedong Ling battles, you might kill this drone, it will not turn into a base. It is very important at what time you do you time the lings, and these are a lot of lings. Have they got speed? They will have speed soon. Nothing here, and they are just roaming the map, and that sunken. Those sunkens are very nice against lings, but as you can see on the minimap, the number of lings is growing steadily, and the drones moving out are being killed as well. And what GarmBot does is just takes a lot of bases and A moves from all of them. And it can't do that if the drones are not getting out, so the drones will have to depart from here. And this one sunken is doing a hell of a job, but its main strength, mainly a lot of bases, will not be reached by this method. Now, Moo is going for more drones now. Where is the egg on this base? Well, I don't know, perhaps it just hatched. It's going for drones, and now it's going for the kill. And it's moving, it's keeping out of the way of this sunken, and that is something. Now it's going for the sunken, and it decided, well, I can't take it with all these wings. And there it goes, and there goes the main base. And now we've got only one base left, which has been found already by this overlord. And one drone trying to make its way out. And if you look at the minerals, it's got 900 minerals left, so it, by this time it... Oh, the drones have pulled back, the Zerglings have pulled back, I don't know why that is. Meanwhile, TSCMU tacking up to Spire, that's a good choice. Oh, and that is very interesting. That can only be classified as very interesting because if you've got one safe-ish base with a sunken and one not safe-ish base with a lot of lings running around, the most natural instinct is not to take the third at the enemy mineral only. That is just stupid, and it's now being killed off by one ling. The rest of the lings are back at home trying to defend against nothing and just waiting till the mutas are out. This base is not getting anything done. More hatcheries coming for TSCMU. Meanwhile, yeah, it's nice, another base, but it's too slow. The layers just come up, there's no anti-air, and now the mutas with the lings are not coming. I don't know. Nice micro by TSCMU. And TSCMU now laying down the law from above. Very well done. 2 base gas, one more base coming, another base coming. GarmBot has taken a couple of more bases. The supply deficit has been, or the mineral surplus has been reduced, but with all the mutas out now, I can't see this going anywhere but into the toilet, and that is a shame. And there you can see that TSCMU still has got a ticket for number 1 Zerg. A bit strange that its Zerglings did not finish the job while they could. It's not really equipped with a kill switch where it sees, well, okay, the enemy's dead, I can just A-move and wings. After a set interval or set number of drones produced, or I don't know what, all the lings moved back to base and waited for the mutas to kill off the enemy. Now the lings are back, they're coming to kill off this last base, and this is it. TSCMU still has got the Zerg crown, and even though it's not as good a killer as it once was, hey, what have we got left? That's a good, oh, we've got a queen, oh, hello. Queen's nest here. Oh, there, yeah, there, no, yes, there it is. Finally. Oh, yeah, hooray! Okay, so GG. This were a couple of replays of the Student StarCraft AI tournament server. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back with more glorious footage. Thank you very much, and have a good day.